What's up, you guys? I want to give you my first impressions of Nintendo Switch 2's flagship launch window title, Donkey Kong Bananza. Mario Kart World was cool. It's cool and all, but this is the game. This is the Nintendo Switch 2 game. This is the reason to buy the console, and let me tell you, it's fantastic. If this is your first time here, like, subscribe, stay a while. So, Mario Odyssey I credit that game as being a video game that really got me back into video games. I grew up on Mario 64. That game might be my earliest memories ever. So, you know, Donkey Kong Bonanza, made by the Mario Odyssey team, like at heart, it almost feels like a Mario game. But there's a lot of extra flavor to this, let me tell you. So it's not just a Mario Odyssey, like spiritual successor sequel. At first glance, like with the trailer and when you first play it, it is, but it really has evolved into its own thing. And kudos to Nintendo, honestly. Kudos to them to be able to take an IP, a character like Donkey Kong, who has just been on the back burner for so many years. I mean, what? Before this game, the past 10 years, we had Donkey Kong Country Returns and Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. Two great 2D platformers, but honestly, the 2D platformer genre, I feel like, has been beaten into the dirt during the Wii and the Wii U generation, even the Switch. Like, I'm pretty tired of it, but Nintendo is on top of their game with Donkey Kong Bonanza. Honestly, if you don't like 3D platformers or platformers in general, you know, you're probably not going to like this game. However, if you are into 3D platformers or 2D platformers, this is one of the best. Honestly, it's one of the best. If you are thinking about this game, maybe you are new to the 3D platformer genre, and if you have a Switch 2 already, definitely give this game a chance. I mean, if you don't have a Switch 2, I don't know if I would say like go on a leap of faith and buy a Switch 2 just for this game. If you know you already aren't super into platformers, but again, if you're into platformers, this game, this game's awesome. I was saying that about Astrobot last year whenever that came out, that was the perfect platformer for new people, but honestly, this game, like, if you go on my channel and watch my Yakuza 0 review, my biggest critique with that game is how slow it is. This game puts you in a trance. It's fast paced, like, Yakuza 0 review. I said it's some of the longest 8 hours in gaming I've had lately. I don't know if I've played 8 hours in this. Minor spoilers throughout this video. I'm on sub level 602, so if you know, you know. But I don't know if that's halfway through the game. I don't know how far I am, but I'm a little bit into the game. And this game just puts you in a trance, man. I can honestly feel like it lowers my IQ at times, and I'm just like thinking, smash, 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 go, boom, 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 boom. Like, yeah, honestly, like this game. So you can pretty much break anything and dig anywhere you want. And it loses a little bit of magic when you realize that there is like a structural frame that you can't break, but there's rocks and everything, and you can just dig tunnels. It kind of has like a Minecrafty feel in that sense, where you can just kind of dig and go. But it's so fast paced, and time just flies when I play this game, and that's great. I think that's a great aspect to any video game, is they can just lose yourself into it. And it's really hard to put this game down when you're playing it. There's always something to do everywhere you look, and I guess it has a little bit of Zelda Breath of the Wild / Tears of the Kingdom flavor in it, where you'll see these these entryways to uh, either little like fight rooms or little puzzle platformers. A little bit like Mario Sunshine, even when it comes to how it takes you to a different area for some more tighter platforming design. But the vibe of it really feels like a Breath of the Wild shrine. And then you even have some Splatoon in here with the music. It's very funky, and just the animations and just how crisp everything is, and just funky and animated. They really took a bunch of Odyssey and some Zelda and Splatoon and just kind of threw it all together, and it really becomes its own thing. And the way they redesigned Donkey Kong just really gives it that personality to it. especially with Pauline. This is my biggest surprise is Pauline in this game. When they announced it with the trailers and all that, I was kind of like, eh. I didn't look too much into the gameplay or any of that trailer stuff. I was just thinking, like, whatever. She adds so much to this game. She's the only character that's English voice acted, and I don't know, something about it just adds so much. It's almost like she's telling you to have fun. She has so much energy, and is just a great character. And that's I feel like that's stuff that Nintendo does a lot. Like they're telling you, like this game's fun, and it is. It is a ton of fun, and just collecting all the bananas. If you're into like Mario Odyssey, the collectathon, it's fantastic. The fact that it can just take you away and just be immersed in it. It's very fast paced, always something to do. I can't get enough of it. And there's, some of these games, I think with Mario Odyssey, I was going through that game and trying to get all the moons before moving on to the next level. And certainly you could do that with this game, but there's a lot of bananas per world. And I haven't been worrying about that. I've just been nonstop go, go, go. And I love it. And I'm hoping to go back, and this is a game that I would want to 100%. There's a lot of bananas. There's other collectibles like fossils that help you get unlocks. It has the very similar Mario Odyssey unlock style with the outfits in this with outfits and they also give attributes. I can't remember in Mario Odyssey if they did that. They give like power ups and make you stronger, which is a great addition to this game. Also, the skill tree, that's something that 3D Mario games have not had. So Donkey Kong now has skills that you can upgrade him. So, they're really just taking that Mario Odyssey formula and just adding more to it. And just with these other influences, it really becomes its own game. And I hope this isn't the last we see of this. I do think Donkey Kong is something that they're really pushing and trying to revive this IP again, which is great because Nintendo has such a rich, backlog of IP, and if they can do that for Donkey Kong, just like what else can they do it for? I guess they kind of did that with Kirby with the 3D Kirby game. Yeah, this game, first impressions, absolutely fantastic. If you have a Nintendo Switch 2 and you're even slightly interested in this game, definitely give it a shot. And I really cannot wait to play more of this. One other aspect I really like is how with like the worlds, instead of Mario Odyssey with the kingdoms where it's like you go to this kingdom, then you go to that kingdom, they kind of are taking like something from the Godzilla King Kong monster verse or Dragon Ball Daima, where like in Godzilla King Kong, they have the hollow earth theory. So, below the surface of the earth, there's a whole ecosystem and environment. And they really do that in this game where you're going down to the center of the earth. And throughout it, there's layers of the earth that are hollow, basically. And that's where the game takes place. And that's the excuse to give each world its own kind of biome. Very similar to Dragon Ball Daima with the Demon Realm, if you've watched that, where there's layers that go down and each layer is different. I think that's a really clever way to explain the different worlds of this game, but not really have it copy Mario Odyssey. And again, that kind of makes me want to just keep going straight without just spending so much time trying to 100% one area. Like you have this, it really feels like a linear, like I'm going somewhere. And that, I don't know, that's really hooked me in. As you go down the layers, you can see in the footage, they start to give more uh unique, I guess, gimmicks throughout them. That it really adds to the variety. Like the game is constantly evolving as you go through it and adding more and more. And I expect nothing less from this team to do something like that. Um, you know, it's a shame that we didn't get Odyssey 2. But this is honestly like an honorary Mario game, and the fact that we're reviving a new IP, I think that's worth it. You know, I knew there was gonna be a DK push when they made that Donkey Kong Returns HD. That game seems nothing special at all, and really when I see that, I'm like, well, they want to have this available on the eShop for the next 10 years. But they made the Donkey Kong world at Nintendo Universal. Donkey Kong's a big part of the Mario movie, and it sounds like they might be making a Donkey Kong movie. And then you have this game. Like, there could be a bright future for Donkey Kong. I would love to see that with other IP. I wonder what a 3D Yoshi game could be like. Maybe that's the next thing this team does. Instead of making Donkey Kong Bonanza 2 or Odyssey 2, maybe they go Yoshi and they just do another 3D platformer with a different character. That would be awesome. But I hope we don't. I hope we're not missing out on Donkey Kong for too long. Would not be mad if they make a Bonanza 2. I don't know how you do that. I'm not at the end of the game. I don't know how this ends or where this goes. But it's great. It's absolutely great. It's absolutely worth your time. If you're on the fence, definitely give this a chance. First impression so far, honestly, probably like a 9.5. 10 out of 10, that sounds crazy. Absolute perfect game. I feel like, I don't know, for me personally, a 10 out of 10, I feel like I would tell everybody you have to play this. I'll acknowledge that if you're not into 3D platformers, this isn't going to sell you on it. But if you're on the fence, or if you haven't played 3D platforms before, this is a great place. This is a great game. You'd spoil yourself being able to play this first. Um, what do you guys think? Have you played this game yet? Are you enjoying it? If you haven't played this game yet, has this video helped you one way or another decide if it's something you want to check out? Let me know in the comments, and thank you. See you in the next video.